You ever have that feeling where you study all day long and at the end it's like you learned absolutely nothing? Like you read the material, you took notes, you made summaries, but your brain feels like a corrupted file that just won't open. Yeah, so here's the thing. The truth is that studying more might actually be making you dumber, literally, and neuroscience backs this up. Now, before you panic, this doesn't mean you're lazy or stupid or anything like that. It just means the way you're studying right now is kind of messing up your brain. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how too much studying destroys your memory, kills your attention, drains your motivation, and most importantly, what you can actually do to flip the script. All right, let's dive in. The myth of study more. Okay, so we all grew up hearing the same advice, right? The more you study, the better you'll be. Study harder, put in more hours, grind it out. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't actually work like that. It's not a hard drive where you're just dumping information until it's full. It's way more like a living muscle. It gets tired, it wears out, and honestly, it needs recovery time to actually grow. And this is where people make the first big mistake. A lot of us, myself included by the way, we confuse effort with learning. You know what I mean? You're sitting there for hours in front of a book. Your body's there, but your mind? Yeah, that left like an hour ago. And the worst part, your brain starts to reject new information. It's literally like, dude, enough, I can't take anymore. When you force it past that point, you hit what I call study burnout. You lose focus, you feel guilty because you're not retaining anything, and then you start thinking, oh, the problem must be me. But it's not you, it's biology. What neuroscience actually says. So neuroscience shows us that learning is a chemical process, right? Every time you study something new, your brain creates these neural connections. But here's the catch. Those connections are super fragile at first. If you don't sleep well, if you skip breaks, or if you try to cram like 10 different subjects back to back, those connections just don't stick. They fade. It's kind of like trying to build a bridge on wet, muddy ground. Sure, it might stand up for a little bit, but the next day, it collapses. Studies actually show that after about 50 minutes of intense focus, your brain needs at least 10 minutes of real rest. Not scrolling on your phone, real rest. But what do most people do? They study for 3 hours straight, phone buzzing next to them, coffee in hand, guilt piling up, anxiety building. And the result? You don't learn better, you learn less. The productive stupidity cycle. Okay, so there's this term I like to use, productive stupidity. It's when you're doing a ton of stuff, but you're learning almost nothing. You fill your entire day with tasks, reviews, summaries, highlighters everywhere, just so you can feel like you're being productive. But deep down, you're really just numbing the guilt. And here's where it gets worse. The more you force yourself to push through, the more your brain switches into survival mode. It starts pumping out cortisol, the stress hormone. And guess what cortisol does to your brain? It blocks your memory. It kills your attention. So the more stressed you get while studying, the less your brain can actually hold on to what you're trying to learn. It's literally like studying to get dumber. Wild, right? How to actually turn this around. Don't worry, this isn't a hopeless situation. There's actually a way out of this. Here's what science and honestly real-world experience shows actually works. 1. Study in short blocks. We're talking 40 to 50 minutes of focused work, then take a real 10-minute break. No phone, no guilt, just go walk around, drink some water, breathe. This gives your brain time to consolidate what you just learned. It's not wasted time, it's essential. 2. Sleep well. I know, everyone says this, but during sleep, your brain literally reorganizes your memory. It's not some wellness trend, it's biology. 3. Review with spacing. You can't cram everything into one sitting and expect it to stick. You've got to revisit the material the next day, then a few days later, then a week later. That's what transforms temporary knowledge into something permanent. 4. Avoid multitasking. If you're trying to study with music blasting, notifications popping up, group chats open, your brain is constantly switching gears and you lose all depth. And here's the big one, number 5. Stop studying just to prove you're good enough. Study to understand, to grow, to evolve, not to compare yourself to everyone else on social media or in your class. Final thought. Look, Maybe what you need right now isn't more effort. Maybe it's rest, but like rest with a purpose. Because real learning doesn't happen when you're exhausted and burnt out. It happens when your brain is calm enough to actually connect new ideas together. So next time you feel guilty about taking a break, remember this. Resting is part of studying. Tonight, try something different. Close the books a little earlier than usual, breathe, get some good sleep, and tomorrow, just notice the difference. If you want to keep growing without burning out, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.